What's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. So I'm bringing you something beautiful. This is one of my favorites since the 80s. Gil Hibben has been putting these out since the 80s and it's just freaking beautiful. This is the Gil Hibben Highlander Bowie. This thing, Gil Hibben, all Gil Hibben's knives come with great leather sheaths. There's nothing new there. It's just a really good sheath at 13 and a quarter inches overall, I believe it is, with an 8 3/4 inch blade. You have the Highlander Bowie. This is stainless steel from pommel to tip. It is stainless, stainless, stainless everywhere, including the handle, which is wire wrapped. The Highlander Bowie got its name because he was inspired by the Highlanders in Scotland, you know, and that's where he comes up with the Highlander Bowie with this beautiful recurve design. It is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, most people think that because it's a fantasy fighting knife, that it can't be used, but that's not true. The steel is 420. And a lot of people think, oh, 420 is weak, it doesn't hold an edge, and blah, 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 and it's going to chip and it's going to break, and 420 is going to be caca. 420 has a purpose. Now, if you have a really good diver's knife, there's a good chance that it's made of 420, because 420 is one of the best steels you can get for anti-corrosion, right? This blade is going to stay, I got the sun right over my shoulder, I'm trying to give you guys something. This blade is going to stay rust-free for a very long time. It takes minimal care to keep this thing looking beautiful. Now, as far as the hardness of the steel, yeah, at 420, it means you're going to have to sharpen it a little bit more than you would a 1095 or anything like that. Who cares? And it also depends on what you're using it for. This is not a survival knife. This is not, you know, your atypical hunting knife. Can it be used as a hunting knife? Yes. Can you go through animal hide with this? Yes. Can it be used to, you know, you just caught that salmon, put it out of its misery? Yes. But what this thing is, first and foremost, is it's a fighting knife. That's what this is. And can this be used as a fighting knife? Don't stab me with it, all right? Because, yes, this thing can be used as a fighting knife, and not just used, but it's great at being used as a fighting knife. These kids would have used one if they had one. This thing is, I mean, from the false edge on this beautiful clip point, I mean, that is gorgeous, all the way to the real edge, which, let's test out this real edge here. Ooh, dee-doo. Man, and I'll tell you what, that is super shave sharp. Super shave sharp. That is, am I getting that in there? All those hairs? Holy moly, I got a bald spot. This knife comes sharp. And, you know, they say, oh, well, the problem is, I still got more hairs on her. The problem is it's not going to hold its edge and blah, blah, blah. It depends what you're using it for. If I'm using this for a fighting knife and I'm slashing my opponent, Bigfoot, then this thing isn't going to dull. This thing isn't going to chip. This thing isn't going to roll. This thing is going to roll straight through somebody, Bigfoot. But that's about it. It is just made to do what it's made to do. This thing is quite capable of being your fighting knife, your defensive knife, which means this thing is quite capable of keeping you alive in situations where people want you dead. Look how thick that thing is. This is 420 steel. 420 steel. And I get it. I get it. I get it. People think it's no good because of that, but you're wrong. 420 definitely has advantages. It has its disadvantages, yeah, but it definitely has its advantages. And look at that beautiful Gil Hibben signature up there. You got the Gil Hibben logo on this side right there. And I'll tell you what, if you're not going through lumber 24 hours a day, you're not going to worry about damaging this. Guaranteed. You're not going to worry about it. And I'm going to actually hit a little bit of wood with it just to show you, and just to show you that this is something that can be used if you must, but it is what it is, man. This thing is just a badass, beautiful fighting knife. It's stayed the same way since the 80s, when Gil Hibben was making this, along with the silver shadow dagger and the double shadow dagger and all of. I'll tell you what, man, this thing right here, wow, it's freaking beautiful. So let's go use it a little bit. So being corrosive, you know, free, being 420, and being that it's going to hold up to having water on it, let's put some water on it. Wow, I tore it. What I did is I came up and I swooped under it, so when I cut it, I then lifted it with the rear of the frickin' knife because my idiot ass went up. So basically the bottom, after it went through, lifted the bottle. Hold on, let me go get it. Wow, I wasn't kidding about how I hit it. Look at the angle of this. I hit it this way and then went up. That was absolutely user error. Instead of hitting it this way, I turned my hand through the swing, right? That's all on me. But literally it went in and then I did a hard turn. And you can absolutely see that in the shape of this cut. It hit dead center and then went straight to the top. And that's when I pushed it. So, but you see what it does. It is sharp. Let's see. It's just straight through. Madness. And guess what? I don't have to worry about wiping it off right away because it's 420. It's not going to rust. Ta-da! Let's keep going. All right, boys and girls. So it's something like this that they say that this knife is not able to do. It's not able to chop down on some wood. Let's do this. I got a fresh piece right here. So what I want to do is I want to show you that if done right, this thing can not only decimate some wood, but you aren't going to damage it. Now, I don't take a full arm swing like an axe, because what that does, especially if you're in a survival situation where you actually need to chop wood, and you're worried about your next meal and this and that, you don't want to expend too much energy. And by just flicking the knife, you can see this is literally I've done nothing so far, and look at the hole I put in. That's just tapping it, right? Tap, 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 tap. And it just cruises straight through because I'm letting the knife do the work. I'm going to open this hole up and show you guys just by minor movements how fast you can get through, because the blade isn't leaving the wood. I'm not doing this. It takes time to bring it back. It takes time to bring it back. And for most part, you're going to be doing that, and you're going to be just hitting a little, stump, and it's going to bounce. This right here is calculated. I see every little move I'm making, and the blade is in constant, fast contact with the wood, and I'm taking it out. Look at the size of this hole right here. I think I got you guys in there, but yeah, look at the size of that hole, right? And that's just by doing these crazy tiny little taps, letting the blade do the work. Speaking of the blade, let's find out. I'm gonna hold you guys in one hand, sorry, and see if no rolls, no damage, no dings, no dents, and we're gonna find out if it's still sharp, because it's 420 and apparently that doesn't happen. So let's go make it work. All right, you guys still with me? I'm still with you. So here we have the rope. Now this ricasso / choil right here, it's an angled piece, but because the finger guard is angled on the outside, on the blade side, it makes it really comfortable to grab onto right here. So I'm gonna put my thumb up top, and just like those blades I've been showing you that can't cut the rope, this is exact opposite. I mean, it's sharp, it's sharp, it's sharp. This is what a few of the blades I just showed you couldn't do. A couple of my last videos proved that they weren't good enough to get through that. This blade right here, is good enough. Let's see here. Did you see all that fly? Look at it. All right, it's just freaking sharp. I love this damn thing. So now let's get this going right here. Let's get it going. Where's my, here we go. This is another thing that I'm told this knife can't do. You can't baton with it. Nope, you're not making kindling because it's the Highlander Bowie and it's 420. Well, screw them guys. And, oh, look at that. I guess I can't cut rubber either. Wait, I just did. So, again, I bashed on some wood with it. I batoned with it. And it's still razor sharp. I mean, gotta love it. I'm trying to feel if there's anything in there. So far, so perfect. Let's look down the line. It is just perfect. Let's do a couple drops. See how straight she falls here. Boop. You hear that solid hit? Oh my gosh. And it has some bite. That's a 4-foot drop. And it's sticking. Bam. That is just beautiful. I'm going to do a couple downward throws here. Woohoo! I overthrew that one. I went all the way around. We're going to test the tip, see if anything loosens here. Man, that is solid. Solid. That is some bite. Now, picking it up is the best way to see if you're going to bend the tip. And my tip is straight. My tip is straight. My tip is straight. Now, this isn't the kind of knife you would do batoning with, but I don't know. I'm going to go light batoning. See if you can see it there. And just a couple wiggles and test everything. You tell me, man. That thing still looks freaking right. Just right. Edge test. Ba-boom. It sticks. This thing, guys, I don't care what they tell you about 420. It's still a knife. And the best part is 420 is not even made to do what I'm doing with. We're just doing it because I have faith. I have faith in this knife. All right, so let's see here. Oh my gosh, is that easy? Oh my gosh, is that easy? So you got to make spikes for a trap, a nice little pit trap. Okay, let's do it. Give it a little turn here while I chop. Remember, fastest way to make a spike isn't to sit there and carve it, but it's to put your knife down, bang away some angles, and then fine-tune the tip, right? That's the best way to do it. Trust me, I know. Here we go. So now, if we have a nice pit dug, and we want to catch some animals, some Bigfoots, and we pop that in the ground right there, cover the little top, animal falls, dead, gone, see ya. Tell you what, man, that's how you get it done. Ta-da! Almost lost that one. All right, so let's oh, you know what we got to do is we didn't even feather the stick the feather. We didn't test how good we are. Oh my gosh, they are so fine, but I'm flaking them off. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. So I'm making some really fine feathers. A bunch of them are just falling off. But can it feather stick? Of course. Can I take this and make a pure cut? Of course. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's a Gil Hibben Highlander frickin' Bowie. Now remember, it is not made to do this. It is made to do this. Ow, 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 ow. On Bigfoot. That's what it's made for. It's made to fight with. I just want to show you that this is not some cheap piece of crap novelty item. This thing right here is a human defender. A defender of goodness. I mean, a defender of goodness, since it's, you know, it's Highlander. But that's what it is. That's what it's made for. That's what it does. This crap is just freaking bonus. Let's keep going. Let's close this thing out with a little toss. Now, everybody out there who has gone over this, and I gotta say, the only things I've ever seen on this knife are crappy, asinine tabletops and unboxings, which I freaking hate because it tells you nothing about the knife. But I've never seen one thrown. I've never thrown one. We're gonna change all that right about now. I did not expect a first throw on the Highlander. I honestly, guys, I honestly did not expect this. I'm gonna pick you up. You gotta see this. You gotta see this. Look at how beautiful that is. I did not expect a first time throw with this thing to go, and mainly because I threw it from the handle and my pinky was right there, and I thought I was going to catch it and maybe twist it, and I was thinking, how am I going to work this angle? Oh man. Ugh. Oh, that was beautiful coming out of the hand. I absolutely did not expect that. Winner, winner, a chicken dinner. The Gil Hibben Highlander Bowie. Holy mackerel. My first time testing this, and it went without a hitch. I mean, it was just wonderful, wonderful to use. Now, each knife has a purpose. You know, if I'm going to camp where I'm not going to be out there for a long time and I need a good knife for that, I'm probably going to use a Condor, Moonshiner, Hudson Bay, or something like that, or even the Steel Wheel Druid. If I'm going to go out on a survival mission, it's definitely the SE6, or oh, there's so many. A couple of the Cold Steels, actually, or my Case XX Bowie. If I need survival, that's what I'm doing. I'm using some tops, anything like that. When it comes down to fighting knives, I mean, where you're using it for a hike, you're going on a hike and you think, in case I encounter something that I need to defend myself with, this is one of those knives that you should really consider. You should really consider this as a hiking knife, because hiking is a lot of times when you're going to need something on your side that you're allowed to carry because you're in the woods, and something that's going to be effective. And I'll tell you what, this as a defensive fighting knife against just about anything is going to be awesome. I mean, you got the Natchez Bowie, the 1917 Bowie, both by Cold Steel. You have the XX by Case. Case actually makes some amazing fighting knives, some fighting daggers and things like that are perfect for hiking knives and things like that. This right here, this Gil Hibben 420 steel, is going to give you the same amount of defensive ability as any of those high-end blades. I mean, any of them. This guy right here is going to give you the ability to defend yourself against anything that walks, crawls, runs, swims, or even flies. You hear that, UFOs? We're watching you. And I'll tell you, this guy right here, I mean, if I'm fighting you and you have this thing in your hand, I'm working extra hard not to get caught up by this blade, because it is just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It remained sharp through all my testing. It didn't chip, it didn't bend, it didn't warp, nothing. This thing just performed. It performed, guys. And again, it's not something I'm going to use as a camp knife. It's not something I'm going to use as a survival knife. But this right here, I will gladly take this along with me on hikes, day hikes, things like that, where I'm not planning on camping. This will definitely come with me on hikes, because A, it's beautiful and it's fun to carry something that looks like this, but B, I know that if there is a bear or if there is a cougar, or if there is, oh, you know, one of those worms with those crazy hooks, you know what I mean? It's like those worms. If there's one of those, I'm using this thing. I am using this thing, and it is going to work. I know that 100% without a doubt in my mind. This knife will get the freaking job done. Yeah. I don't care what jungle you're in. If you're in the jungle, the urban jungle, the city jungle, the other jungle, this is gonna work, man. I'm telling you, it is awesome. I would take this thing down to Atlantis with me and beat the crap out of some mermen. It is freaking awesome. I love it. I love it. It's Gil Hibben's Highlander Bowie. I'm Donnie B all day, and until next knife.